to the right, 291. The noes to the left, 78.
So the ayes have it, the ayes have it.
Tonight, that was confirmation that 2 weeks of lockdown will, just after midnight, be replaced by new restrictions, regional tiers. Boris Johnson won his big vote. But among those who voted against were 55 Tory MPs, including former cabinet ministers, and if Labour and most of the opposition hadn't chosen not to vote at all, well, Boris Johnson would have lost. And that humiliation for the government came despite this emotional plea from the Health Secretary, right at the end of a fractious debate.
Last month, my step-grandfather, Derek, caught COVID there, and on the 18th of November, he died. In my family, as in so many others, we've lost a loving husband, a father, a grandfather to this awful disease.
Earlier, Boris Johnson told us why 99% of those in England will be living under the toughest two tiers of restrictions.
While the virus has been contained, it has not been eradicated. With the spread of the epidemic varying across the country, there remains a compelling case for regional tiers in England. And of course, I accept that this is not a return to normality.
Labour said it wants restrictions, but its leader doubts these new ones will work.
We will not stand in the way of these regulations. We do not want the restrictions to come off. But I'm not going to stand here and pretend, as the Prime Minister does, that this is the plan that's going to solve it all. Vote for this and it'll all be fine through to Easter. That is not going to happen, and nobody should vote on that basis today.
KEIR Starmer was criticised by Tory MPs for refusing to take a proper stand for or against on such an important issue for all of us. But some of those Tory MPs were, if anything, even more hostile than Labour.
I'm afraid the document provided by the government yesterday does little to address my concerns and therefore doesn't allow me to reassure my constituents.
If government is to take away fundamental liberties, they must demonstrate beyond question that they are acting in a way that is both proportionate and absolutely necessary. I believe the government has failed to make that compelling case.
So what does a market trader in Altrincham think of her Tory MP opposing Boris Johnson?
I'm obviously pleased that he's not supporting. You know, he'll be voting against it.
And what about others in the area?
I think there's a need, because of the way the virus has been growing and taking hold. So, and it seems to be working, it's coming down.
Well, I think it's a shame for the businesses, the restaurants and things. I think it's a shame.
Jingle bells? Well, for pubs and restaurants in most of the country, there won't be much jingling cash. Yup, it's tears after bedtime tonight. Robert Peston, News at 10.